Hey guys, Neri here from Drakewing Gaming. So if you know me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Adastra. So let's go ahead and jump right back into it. I think we're about to get into the second trial, so I'm very excited to see where this goes. Oh man. Please win this one, Amicus. We need a win. Anyway, guys, sit back and enjoy for the next 18 minutes while I entertain you. Let's jump right in. Alarm sound, you're up, and let's go. Okay. Nope, 1 second, guys. Alright, sorry about that, we're back. Had to lower the volume. As I walk to the wolf's room, I have enough time to second-guess myself. Maybe this isn't such a good idea. My heart is hammering in my chest as I approach the wolf's door, and I'm sure my face is bright red. I try to keep my breathing under control as I stand in front of the door. What should I say? Maybe just imitate what the wolf did back when he asked me out. Yeah, that'll be funny and cute, right? As I start to feel myself getting cold feet, I just reach up to the panel and, pressing it, deciding to just throw myself into this. Huh. Well, alright then. I did not expect to see that. The scene that I come upon is probably the last one I would have ever expected. At first, I think the two of them are fighting. Neferu and Amicus obviously have some kind of tension going on between them, so seeing the jackal splayed out on the bed while Amicus growled and snarled above him, pinning him down, well, a fight is all that would come to my mind. But after a few more seconds of staring open-mouthed at the scene in front of me, I slowly realize what's actually happening. While Amicus might be snarling, Neferu is letting out grunts and groans that are clearly full of pleasure. His face and body say it all too. The jackal is writhing and twisting under the wolf, pawing at him as he says words that don't translate through the lingua. If that isn't enough to tell me exactly what's going on, then the jackal's slick pink bouncing against the tight abs is. I guess the sounds they're making covered up the sound of the door opening because neither of them look up. Instead, they both continue to go at it while I stare in shock. A part of me doesn't want to make any sudden movements so as not to attract their attention, while the other part of me just stares in fascination, never having seen anything like this before. A few times Neferu tries to reach up and touch Amicus's face, and each time the wolf bats it away or pins the paw down. Amicus seems irritated almost, like he's more annoyed about the situation than anything else. Neferu is practically the opposite, somehow maintaining that trademark smirk of his all the while this is going down. Oh my. That big goofy face. And then, of all the moments for me to walk in on their little session, they seem to reach their peak. Neferu lets out a series of short moans, a strange sound coming from someone as refined and reserved as he is. I can see the results as it splashes against his torso and muzzle. His stricken frantically as his face morphs into a look of strained pleasure. Meanwhile, Amicus's moan is long and deep as he helps Neferu install some fans in his PC case, freezing up before practically melting over the other canine. His expression is a lot more goofy. Despite myself, I find it thinking that this is exactly how I'd imagine his face. I just sort of take this all in. Yeah, kind of like he is. Still trying to understand what the hell's going on. I mean, I know what's going on, but I don't know why. There's a certain amount of horror that goes with my reaction, as if I just walked in on my parents doing it. I guess I'm at least glad that I'm seeing this at an angle, which means I can't see what's going on under Neferu's hips. I realize then that I need to get the hell out before they see me. As they both gasp in their sticky mess, I slowly start to back out, but that's when the door automatically closes behind me. Now that things are quiet, nothing covers up that sound, and Neferu and Amicus look up at me as one. Oh, no. I stand there, feeling as if I'm in a dream as they both stare at me. I must look like an idiot, my robe dirty from the gardens, flowers dangling from my right hand as my mouth hangs open in fascinated horror. Amicus looks the most shocked of all, though, and I can see a million thoughts running through his head, clearly not having wanted me to see this. His reasons for sending me and Alex out to the menial yard work is very clear now. Neferu, for his part, isn't wearing his usual suave smirk. Instead, it's surprised and maybe even a little guilty. Like, not even he wanted me to see this. I opened my mouth. But then any will to smooth over the situation somehow, make a joke of it even leaves me. With both their eyes on me, I turn and almost run into the door, having to drop the flowers on the ground to press the panel. Somehow I feel even worse than when I'd left the throne room in disgrace after the dance. I'm gonna save it right there. Got a lot of editing to do on this one. This is just taking up, so much time. As I do, I hear Amicus struggling for words. Kyllian, wait! There's some rustling sounds, followed by a yelp from Neferu before the door slides. Ow! Oh, he pulled out. Before the door slides shut, and the only sounds are my echoing footsteps. I'm not sure where I'm going. I just know that I need to get as far as I can from that situation. What I saw is only now sinking in, and so is the hurt. What the fuck? That fucking wolf tells me he's in love with me, or at least interested in me, and the next thing I know, he's fucking that jackal? What the fuck? I guess I'm more angry than hurt. I must have looked like such an idiot standing there while one of them was getting railed. And to walk in that moment? Neferu had been so clearly into it, and Amicus looked so mean and aggressive. The whole thing was just awful. Well, awful to walk in on unexpectedly. In another context, my vision blurs for a moment, but I refused to let myself cry over something that wasn't even going to be serious. I was going to offer Amicus something to that stupid fling, and that was it. He wasn't obligated to have my eyes only for me. In fact, I knew he was into Neferu. We'd already discussed it. So this is fine. This was expected. Actually, I wasn't even expecting anything. No, the reason I'm so embarrassed and feel like shit right now is because I walked in on 2 alien dogs butt-fucking. That was weird and messed up, and I just need to collect my thoughts for a moment. That's when I realized that I don't really know where I am in the place. Palace. Most of the hallways look the same, and this one is no exception, though I know I'm deeper than I've ever been before. Kyllian! Amicus's footsteps pound against the floor behind me. I don't know how far away he is, considering the echoing halls can be deceptive, but I immediately take a right through a particularly large set of double doors. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. The room I walk into is full of smells. Good ones. Like a garden. The air is cool and fresh even as afternoon light pours in from an opening in the ceiling. All the while, there's the sound of a soft trickling of water from a small fountain in the center of the room. I stand there for a moment, eyes scanning for anyone else that might be here. When I don't see anyone, I move closer to the center of the room, looking around at the flowers as I try to flowers and plants as I try to calm my hammering heart. I know Amicus is probably going to find me soon. All he has to do is ask calm. So I fold my arms, trying to look casual, realizing now that it would have just been better for me to hang out in the hall, maybe laugh when Amicus came out. I'd have made a joke and acted like it wasn't a big deal, but it's way too late for that now. And sure enough, the door slides open and Amicus stumbles in his underwear, his fur completely mussed up, chest heaving for breath. Kyllian, I need to talk about... He doubles over, paws on his knees as he gasps for air. I cringe as I see my flowers clutched in one of his paws. But I still try to look casual, keeping my arms folded. What? About what you just saw. Don't worry about it. I shrug before busying myself with brushing off my robes so they don't look so dirty. No, I want to explain what happened. You don't need to explain it. It's none of my business. Well, it is. It's definitely not. I snap at the wolf. Who you fuck is none of my business. That's all up to you. Don't let me tell you who you can and can't be with. Amicus frowns deeply at me. What? You heard me. I don't want to hear about it. I'm not here for this shit anyway. Here for what? I throw my hands up in frustration. What just happened? For sex or love, whatever the hell it is you guys do. Whatever it is you told me you wanted on the island. I point at the flowers in his paw. I'm just trying to get home. I feel my eyes threatening to water up again, and I stubbornly swallow that down right quick. No, that's not what that was. Please, let me explain. I shake my head. You guys have sex. It's not a big deal. I get it. Humans can be like that, too. Amicus takes a step forward, but I take one back. I guess it's just a little fucked up that you confessed your feelings 2 days ago, and then suddenly you're just fucking another guy. This is all so ridiculous. Not only the situation I'm in, but the fact that I feel so hurt by the wolf, even though nothing has really happened between us except an alcohol-fueled kiss. Amicus takes another step forward, his paws up, staring wide-eyed at me. That's not what happened, and if you'll let me explain, then what did I just see? What you saw it was more of a transaction than anything. What, of cum? Amicus chokes in surprise. Well, yes, I guess, but I made a deal with the Kyllian. What deal? Well, I'm sure you remember our problems with Cassius. About him wanting to murder me? Yes, that problem. What about it? Well, I did say it wasn't something you should worry about, but like I also said, I'm taking all precautions. Yeah? Yes, so... The wolf pauses. What? I realize now that I should have consulted you on this, but it was my only immediate option. What option? Well, while Cassius might be willing to execute my pet, he wouldn't dare touch the pet of a Kyllian. What? The wolf rubs behind his neck with one paw and speaks very quickly. If I were to lose the second trial, I made it so that your ownership would transfer to Neferu. You'd become his pet. I stare at the wolf. This would ensure that Cassius would not dare come after you. If he did, it might upset the very delicate relations we have with the Kyllians. A moment of silence passes. So I'd become Neferu's pet? If I somehow lose the trial, yes. I stare at the wolf. Are you okay with that? Amicus. Again with him doing things without even telling me. No conversations, no warning, no consideration. After all this time, he still doesn't see me as an equal. Amicus sees my expression change and quickly jumps in again. It's the best alternative, mainly because the Kyllians likely use their own stretch. Neferu would be able to get you home if he had to. So to pay him... He wanted sex and only seemed interested in that, yes. Trust me, I took no emotional pleasure in it. I'm quiet. Don't worry, though. I made sure the contract we agreed to ensures that you will not have to be involved in anything like that. In fact, you'd almost be treated like a pharaoh. Amicus grins proudly. I stare at the wolf for a while, suddenly feeling numb. Are you feeling better? His voice takes on a serious tone as he reaches out and pushes a thumb pad across my cheek. The action is intimate, and I turn my head away. We stand awkwardly for a moment, then Amicus holds up the flowers. You dropped these? I shake my head. They were for you. Amicus winces. I thought so. Were you going to ask me? I feel my face getting hot. Yeah, but now? I'm suddenly enveloped in a very tight hug. Gods, that was the absolute worst moment for you to walk in. I'm sorry. I stand there limp, just letting the wolf hug me. Finally, Amicus steps back, holding the slightly wilting flowers as he stares at me. I hope after that, you're still considering... I sigh and shake my head, to which Amicus's ears fall. I'm just a stupid primate, you aren't I? What? I told you before just to talk to me if you're planning something that involves me. Why couldn't you have at least given me a warning? Especially for something like this. You what? It was sudden, and I thought the idea might hurt you after what happened on the island. No shit! So you went behind my back? I know sometimes you don't even think, but you knew this would hurt? No, I've been so busy. Not to mention negotiating these things is complicated. I'm just trying to do what's best for you. Without really thinking about me or how I might feel about any of this. I'm always thinking about you, every damn hour of the day, and this is on top of the trials. Believe it or not, Kyllian, I'm stretched a bit thin, and it would be helpful if you could work with me. Work with you how? Let you manipulate me into becoming your boyfriend, then watch you fuck another guy so I can become his slave instead? I've been pretending, but now it could actually become official. I can't stop the words from spilling out of my mouth, wanting to hurt the wolf just as much as he hurt me. The wolf stares at me. Then Amicus's hackles rise, but instead of instilling any sort of fear in me like it normally would, I feel satisfaction. Kyllian, I will not have you accusing me of such a thing. I was more honest with you on the island than I have been with anyone in years. But not about just what happened with Neferu. What, you think I owe you celibacy? We're not dating, and you refuse to do anything with me. It may come as a surprise to you, but even in times like these, I have needs. So you did want it. Amicus looks about ready to explode, and for a moment he just stands there in silence, practically shaking. He opens his mouth, and instead of the shouting I expect, it's almost a whisper. I may not know how these things work on Earth, but you know how they work in Adastra. You said yourself that these matters are casual. What happened with the jackal means nothing to me. You mean so much to me, which is why I did it to keep you safe. I shake my head. I'll seeing what happened in the bedroom hurt. It's really only the tip of the iceberg with what's wrong with all this. If you actually cared about me, you'd care about what I want. You keep telling me how smart I am, but here we are again with you doing stuff without any input because you think I'm too stupid to understand. No! You know, you wolves are all the same. We're all just stupid barbarians to you. You don't treat us as an equal. You look down on me, and why the fuck would I want to be with someone like that? That's not even... Just win your stupid trial and send me home. If you don't, just blast my stupid ape ass off into space. I don't want to be here anymore. I turn, heading for the door. Wait, please! Whatever he was going to say suddenly cuts off as I hear a loud thud. I don't look back to see what he kicked or punched. Instead, I head out into the hall, not sure at all of where I'm going. Just know that I hate everything about what just happened. For a while, I just wander. I end up pacing the halls of the palace before going outside to sit in the gardens. I don't see anyone. It's weirdly calm outside, especially considering that the Emperor could be decided tomorrow. I wonder how things are in the city, and the rest of the Empire. I look out toward the faint city skyline, glinting gently in the afternoon light. Amicus doesn't come after me. Should he? I said such horrible things to him, but even now I feel like I had to say them. I'm tired of being treated like an actual pet, and now that I might actually become one? Still, I kind of wish he did come after me again. I do believe that he was only trying to protect me, that he thought what he was doing was the only way to do that. But after everything on the beach, after I've already told him to just keep me in the loop, honestly, if he just asked me about it first, even just told me about it, I'd probably have been okay with it. Sure, maybe a little jealous, but okay. I realize that a lot of this anger is because I just feel betrayed, and I feel that way because I really, really like Amicus. I'd expected him to treat me better after everything. The late afternoon heat is making me sweat, but instead of going inside, I just move under some shade. After a while, I lay back on the bench I'm sitting on, drifting off to sleep. Poor kid. It's pretty, though. When I wake up, it takes me a while to realize where I am. I stare at the flowers and leaves, gently lit up by the garden lights, until I remember that I had fallen asleep there. Groggily, I call out for Calm, and according to him, I've only been out for about 2 hours, but the sun here always moves fast across the sky. I brush a few leaves off my robes as I get up and I walk toward the palace, realizing at this point that I can't exactly avoid going back to Amicus's room forever. At least it'll force us to talk about things after we've cooled down. At least I hope he's cooled down. My pace starts to slow as I get closer to his bedroom, unsure what to say after everything that happened. I decide I'm going to apologize, but also expect an apology from him as well. We both made mistakes, but we could get past this if we talked it out. Dinner is still sitting next to the door on its card untouched. I pause, my hand hovering over the panel, just remembering what I saw the last time I opened this door. Shuddering, I still myself and press it. The room's empty. No wolf in sight. Cold air creeps out of the room, chilling my bare calves as I continue to stand in the hallway. I realize then that I was holding in my breath and I let it out slowly. I look up and down the hall in case I might see Amicus, but as always, it's empty. With a soft sigh, I slowly walk in toward the bed before changing direction to sit on the sofa instead. Calm had told me that it was the 18th hour, which means Amicus should be getting ready for bed by now, a schedule he follows almost religiously. Maybe he's getting ready for the trial somehow. That'd be good, but I'm also getting the uncomfortable feeling that he's just avoiding me. That'd be bad, but because despite what happened, he shouldn't be thinking at all about me. He could be the Emperor tomorrow. So I sit there, hugging a pillow, waiting. After a while, I grab the food from the hallway and manage to eat a little bit. I wonder if I should just save some for Amicus, but decide that he'd be able to get his own food from the kitchens instead of those cold leftovers if he ends up returning. So I send the rest back with the drones and continue waiting. After a few more hours, Amicus still doesn't come back, and I end up laying down on the sofa, waiting to fall asleep. The sound of the door opening jolts me awake, and I quickly sit up, turning to look. Amicus? Oh. I stare at the jackal for a moment, feeling a sudden urge of anger in my chest. Hello, Kyllian. Are you not coming to the trial? I look around. What time is it? The 7th hour, which means the trial starts in less than an hour. Where's Amicus? Preparing for the trial. He hasn't been back all night. He was meditating most of the night. All night? Indeed. I frown at the jackal. What do you want? Neferu walks further into the room slowly before stopping in the middle, a good 15 feet away. To escort you to the trial, if you'd like, and to also talk. About what? I've already told you that you don't need to play stupid with me, Kyllian. I sit up straight, turning to face the jackal more directly. I'm not. I'm just wondering why the fuck you have the nerve to show up here after taking advantage of Amicus like that. What? I don't think I've ever seen Neferu caught off guard, so the sight is kind of funny. I smirk. Well, that's certainly a way to look at it. What other way is there to look at it? Plenty, if you'll let me explain. I sit back on the sofa, crossing my arms. Amicus already explained. I become your pet to protect me from Cassius, and in exchange for that, you made him fuck you in the ass. Again, the jackal looks shocked, then laughs, and the sound high and soft. Oh dear, there are many ways to look at this, aren't there? His suddenly cheerful mood irritates me. Listen, I honestly don't want any part of this. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and save it right here. I got some editing to do. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, leave a super thanks or a tip if you can. It always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!